Hi, this is Sam Miskovich with the Brand Realty here in San Diego. You may have recently heard of the changes within the real estate industry that we've just gone through as of August 17th, 2024. Me and my team wanted to put together this video to help educate prospective home buyers on the new process and how it looks buying a home as of the date I just mentioned. So moving forward, prospective home buyers like yourself will actually have to enter into a written agreement with an agent before touring a property. This was never the case before. Previously, as a prospective home buyer, you could connect with an agent and they could take you to tour the property that you requested to see, the property that you and your family loved, without any written agreement. But don't be concerned, because here's the deal. This is actually great news for buyers, because now you'll have the full understanding of what your buyer agent services they're providing and for what fee. Okay, now you may be a little bit reluctant initially to sign an official exclusive agreement with an agent that you don't know, right? There has to be a bit of rapport before you do that. We get that. And here's the deal. There's actually watered down versions of these agreements that make it very, very transparent and informal for you as a prospective buyer who just wants to go and tour a home. These agreements can be property specific. They can be just for one day, they can be for 7 days. So between yourself and the agent, it's very easy to decide if you're the right partnership moving forward. And if you are, your agent will help educate you and probably advise that you work more exclusively. It's a win for you, it's a win for the agent. So these agreements can be non-exclusive, and as I mentioned, they can also be exclusive if you love the agent that you're working with and you feel they're going to add value to this process for you. But here's the deal. Try and not take this as an action where you should just go out and sign a ton of different non-exclusive agreements with agents. You really have to understand what you're signing. And myself and my team are very good at educating buyers to fully understand what they're signing and how the process works. If you feel good about that agent that showed you that first property and there's good rapport, there really shouldn't be anything stopping you working with that agent more exclusively. And that's how you can transition into the more formal buyer representation agreement form and making it exclusive. Now, as a prospective home buyer, you are fully entitled to be able to attend an open house without any kind of buyer representation agreement in place. But here's the deal. When you turn up to that open house, the agent on site, typically the listing agent, and obviously the agent who's representing the seller, they will obviously ask if you have an agent working with you. They will also make you sign the open house agreement, okay? This is just stating that their sole responsibility and representation is to the seller and not to you as a non-represented buyer. Now, if you want to acquire that listing agent's services beyond that, that's technically now called representation. That listing agent, who's actually representing the seller as well, will make you sign a buyer representation agreement if you want to use their services, and they'll also provide you what fee that's going to cost you. So here's what we highly recommend. Of course, if you like to attend open houses, by all means carry on. The listing agent, when they're there, will really only be able to provide you limited information and maybe just give you an informational sheet and say, go ahead and walk through the home, best of luck. Not really giving you a great service. Now, if you attend the open house with your buyer agent and you have an agreement in place, I'm sure your buyer agent is going to go above and beyond to grasp all of the factors of this property that, if you love it, is going to give you a great opportunity to win over potential other buyers. So yes, before, some buyers, not all, felt like there was a little bit of a loophole to be able to go directly to the listing agent. And here's the thing, a lot of us agents have done those transactions before, and they're called dual representation. And they do, and they can work out totally fine. But here's the deal. You're probably making one of the biggest purchases you're going to make in your life. Do you, as a prospective home buyer, feel it's in your best interest to have the agent who's representing the seller and getting paid by the seller, who's trying to drive the price up for the best terms, best price for the seller? Do you also want that same person representing you when you're trying to do the complete opposite? You're trying to negotiate the price down, which terms that are favorable for you, maybe not so much the seller. It's kind of like being in court, right? Imagine there's a couple going through a divorce and you have the same attorney representing both parties. It seems like a little bit of a lost situation, right? So we highly recommend here at the Brand Realty that buyers have their own representation and sellers have their own representation. Again, this is a win for both parties. You both have a professional representing you on both sides. This is great news. So to summarize, this is a great change for the industry. This is great for buyers because they now have full transparency as to what their agent will be providing them, what services will be included, and for what fee. Now here's the deal. When you sign a buyer representation agreement with an agent, whether it's for a specific property, whether it's non-exclusive or exclusive, it will have a commission fee on there that the buyer agent is charging. Does that 100% mean that you now have to compensate your agent like never before? No, it doesn't, okay? Buyers have always been able to pay their agents. It was just customary that sellers would take the hit. Now, more often than not, sellers will be still offering some kind of compensation to the buyer's agent. They're just not allowed to advertise that on the MLS, the multiple listing service, which all of us agents here in San Diego use. They can advertise it on any other platform, their personal website, on flyers that they give out at an open house. They can verbally disclose it to us buyer's agents. However, they're not allowed to have it on the MLS. That doesn't eradicate that sellers are now going to stop paying buyer's agents, and it's fully on you to have to do that. That's not going to be the case. So don't be reluctant to sign these forms if you feel like that's the reason you're reluctant to do that. Your agent, if they're good and experienced, and I'm sure they are, will do their absolute best to try and have the seller still cover that commission for you. Again, very much like the old days. So same destination, different direction to get there. That's the best way to summarize it. I hope this video was educational for you. Again, it's not to try and scare any buyers. We just want to add value because we have had a lot of buyers calling us, ones we've worked with in the past and ones that are new to the industry, who are saying, what is it that I've heard that I have to now not only do my down payment closing costs, I now have to pay my agent. Are buyer agents going away? Do I just go straight to the listing agent? The whole purpose of this video was to break that down and simplify it for you that, okay, it's not business exactly like it was before. There's a few subtle changes and it's easily workable. So if you have any questions for myself or my team here at The Brand Realty, we'd love the opportunity to help you. We'll also send you a link so you can do a little bit of due diligence yourself on what I've spoke about today. Thank you.